What's going on, guys? My name's Riley, and welcome to my home. All right, so before I give you guys a full tour, inside out, the whole setup, the rig itself, I will ask that you please just contain your enthusiasm, because I know for a fact that this is the sexiest rig any of y'all have ever laid your eyes on before. So with that being said, I'll give you a brief kind of description of what I've got into it and what it is, my reasoning for this trip. So this is a 03 E450. It's a Ford, 7.3 liter Power Stroke diesel. Definitely going to be the last diesel motor I ever own. I had one as a work truck before. I'm pretty handy with them, but man, when they break down, the parts are just so god-awful expensive. You got to have a diesel mechanic. I got a really good deal on this one out of an online auction in Georgia. Rust-free, low mileage, so it was within the budget and I went with it. And it's done pretty well for me so far. We're on year 3. I've had her up and down the East Coast a few times and trips all the way out last year to Montana and back. Broke down in Montana, but that was a easy fix on the side of the road. I'm currently in the Grand Teton National Forest doing a little bit of grouse hunting and trout fishing. I'm sure, as you can see, my passenger princess here, Miss Fannie Mae, she doesn't get put in the crates like the other bird dogs do. She's my girl. So I left for this trip on September 6th, which happened to be my 33rd birthday. I left out of Bland County, Virginia. I doubt anybody watching this has ever heard of that place before, but Southwest Virginia, we'll just generalize, give you an area. It was about 1,500 miles to my first stop in Laramie. Stayed outside of Laramie for a few days in the snowy mountain range, doing some trout fishing, blue grouse hunting. Made it all the way out here. I think I stopped in Pinedale, Wyoming first. And then I got an idea that it might be pretty cool to film all this and try putting it on YouTube. So here I am, my first attempt at it. I'm about 1,800 miles in from Southwest Virginia, and just tickled that I'm here right now, and I've got about 6.5 months left that I've kind of budgeted for, routed out the trip, if you will. I'll be exploring the entirety of the western United States, aside from Colorado and California, which I've been to both states a handful of times already. California's way too expensive, fuel's way too high. Colorado is just kind of out of the way, so like I said, I've already been there a couple times. I'm trying to hit all the states that I haven't been to, and starting in Wyoming. I will be boondocking the entire trip. I'm not planning on staying in any RV parks. I mean, a hotel if I break down, if I absolutely have to, but right now, boondocking the whole way. So, I'll take you outside, give you the tour of the outside of the bus, my Jeep set up, and all of that, and then we'll come back inside and show you what everything is and what it all does. All right, so first and foremost, we'll go over the Jeep. Got this 95 Wrangler Rio Grande from a coworker of mine back in Bland County, Virginia. And got a good deal on it. Not many miles. It's got the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder in it, which I don't even know if you could categorize it in a horsepower rating. I would say more like squirrel power. If you put it in 4-wheel low, it will climb a tree though. It is perfect for what I need it for. Running around town, you know, toting the kayak around, getting to fishing spots, getting to hunting spots. I've got a bunch of stuff in it, all my fishing equipment, generator, spare tools, toolbox to work on anything if something happens to the bus. But yeah, I mean, it's a great little rig. I estimated my fuel economy from Bland to Laramie in the bus pulling this Jeep. Got about 10 miles per gallon. The bus is a diesel. And I will tell you, I think the Jeep gets about the exact same fuel mileage, which is pretty sad, but it's got a 2-inch lift on it, bigger tires, and it is a thirsty automobile. So this is her. Pretty nice setup. I went out grouse hunting today and brought some dogs up the mountain, so she's a little muddy right now. But, you know, we got our standard Harbor Freight tow bar set up. It's got me this far, and my coworker welded everything on for me, so if it does happen to break or fail, it's got chains. It's hooked to a 16,000-pound minibus, so God forbid that happens on the highway, but, you know, we may cross that bridge when we get there. A 10-foot Nucanoe U10 strapped up top. When I bought the Jeep, I installed the rack on top just for that specific kayak. I've owned the kayak for a couple years now. It's been great. I've duck hunted out of it, bass fished, trout fished. I mean, it's a very stable kayak. In the back, I do have it registered. So I've got a trolling motor and a battery in the back of the Jeep. The back of the Jeep, I took the back seat out, and it's really just for storage of everything. We'll dive deeper into that at another time, but for now, that's pretty much the Jeep setup. I did install a new winch on the front of it before I left for this trip. I've been stuck before without a winch, and it's not fun, so another Harbor Freight purchase. God, I love Harbor Freight. All right, so back of the bus. Pretty standard minibus. As y'all can probably assume, it did not come green. I left the windows yellow because I was lazy and didn't want to tape them. A lot of taping, more paint, more work. But I actually think it turned out pretty well. I like the 3-tone green, yellow, black look. For all my Cavaliers out there, it's our high school colors and my elementary school colors, so it kind of suits me. The only things I've done on the back of the bus, put this ladder rack in so I can access the top of it, where I've got 2 400-watt solar panels that feed 2 different solar generators and a 100-watt solar panel that feeds my 12-volt system. I also put in an exhaust fan up top, which has been the best money well spent on this rig. I mean, bar none. It keeps this thing, it can be 85 degrees out, dogs in their crates inside. I could be out running a dog or fishing, and it keeps this thing at like a comfortable 78, you know? Like we're not in air conditioning or anything, but like you can sustain in there. The only other thing I've done to the back side of the bus is install this hitch just so I can pull things. I've been to field trials before where I've needed to haul my horse and horse trailer Put a plug in here, wired it in up front. I was gonna pull a trailer with like an e-bike and accessories on this trip, but got a really good deal on the Wrangler, so it's worked out a lot better than an e-bike and a little utility trailer so far. So I had my buddy weld this drop hitch on, and then I drilled in bolts, so it's both bolted on and welded. Unfortunately, being a minibus, you've got to clear this rear bumper here. So you have to install a drop hitch that drops down, shoots out, and then has this kind of weird contraption to make it be able to pull anything. Now this is a 7.3 power stroke that I know can pull more than 5,000 pounds, but the way this hitch is set up, it's only rated for 5,000 pounds. So I'm kind of limited what I can tow, but you know, it gets the job done. And I think it was a necessary addition to an adventure bus like this. Move on to the side of the bus here. Really the only thing that I've done to the side of the bus so far, other than put on some off-road tires, if y'all notice those. The only thing I've done to the side is install these little D-rings with chains attached to them. Now I can take the chains off, I can store them in the bus, but it just makes it really easy traveling with 4 dogs. I can let them out in the morning and chain them up, feed them, water them, while I'm kind of doing things in the bus, making my coffee. I don't do anything without having my coffee, just so y'all know that. But while I'm getting ready, they can be out here. I'm not the type of person that's going to leave my dogs out on chains all day long. You know, they have their palace inside, really nice crate set up. Fanny sleeps in bed with me because she's a princess, but the boys, you know, they are very well crate trained and they actually enjoy being in there, especially after a long day of hunting, swimming, whatever they may have done that day. They're good with it. I guess while we're outside too, I can climb up the ladder rack and show you guys the solar setup, exhaust fan, and all of those good things. It is also supper time, so somebody's going to be my shadow throughout this video. Miss May. Yeah, I know, honey. I'm working on it, girl. I'll be right there. Gotta please my girl. All right, so we've got 2 400-watt panels up top. Each one of these supplies a different solar generator that I've dedicated to different things inside the bus. And then a 100-watt panel that is dedicated exclusively to my 12-volt system. I'll explain that when we get inside. The aforementioned exhaust vent. Love that thing. Had to cut a hole in the the safety escape exit, but it works. A lot of silicone. A lot of silicone. All right, we're on land again. We'll move around to the front of the bus. Nothing special up here. Nothing special at all. Haven't really done anything to it other than painting it. Blacked out the top mirror up there that holds all my duck decoys. So you can see that. Now this little beautiful white box sitting on the ground. Oh, another item to this adventure bus, if you will, that was money so well spent. Starlink. Long gone are the days of Riley sleeping in a tent, no cell signal, no internet, no nothing. I mean, I'm going to be living in this thing for over half a year, hopefully longer than that, if the budget allows for it. But it's very nice to get back, you know, be able to do this. I definitely would not be able to do YouTube at all, film anything like this. No college football, no college basketball. Not really into NFL, so that doesn't bother me. But, you know, those are things that a man needs in life at this age. And I think the Starlink has worked perfectly so far. I have not set it up for the unlimited plan yet. I've only been on the road for about 2 weeks, so we'll see how far the data coverage goes. I'll let y'all know how that goes later on. But I'm in the middle of absolute nowhere, Wyoming. 0 bars on my phone, and this thing is perfect. So that's pretty much everything from the outside of the bus and the Jeep setup. let's take a look inside. What's going on, guys? Welcome inside. I think you'll first of all notice that I do not fit in here. When I first bought the bus, I fit perfectly. I had about a 1/4 inch room to spare. Didn't think about it, but I knew I needed insulation and flooring. Put in an inch of insulation and about a 1/2 inch, I think it's 1/2 inch flooring. And now I have no space. So I'm kind of getting used to hunching over, walking around. I've already hit my head on these lights a couple times. You know, I'll just have to get used to that. But insulation was critical. Flooring was essential. Had to have it. So if you look over here, first of all, down in this compartment, shoe storage. Got a lot of boots. Keep my moccasins next to the driver's seat. My chacos are in the back. Essentials. But various boots, ones to wear out, ones for extreme hiking, and the ones that are on my feet, I can't get them up there, for light hiking. But this is the command center. Pretty comfy. I've got back issues, had back surgery at 28, so I've got this pretty cool little purple pad that I sit on and some lumbar support. I can easily drive this bus for 10, 11, 12 hours without actual pain at all. I'll get out and stretch a few times, but I've got it rigged up to where it's good for me. So up here is my cabinet of unorganized things so far. It's really just like dog supplies, different cords to charge stuff, you know, dog collars, leashes, bear spray, all types of stuff in here. I really need to dive into this cabinet here. It's just kind of spare storage right now, but I need all the storage I can in a bus like this. This is my dog crate setup. We've got little Wally here. He's about 9 months old. We've got Leo here. He is just over 2, and I don't know if it'll follow me down here. We got Mako down here. He's about 4. And as you've already seen Miss Fannie Mae outside, she's 6.5 now. She doesn't do much hunting. I'll duck hunt with her from time to time, but these are my main bird dogs. This little guy is still in full training, so he's just getting to run around and have fun right now. All right, so workstation where I eat my supper, breakfast. Can get on the computer, watch football, watch whatever I want, scan YouTube, whatever I'm feeling in the evenings, because my days are spent pretty much outdoors. You know, that was the mission for this trip, to get out here and explore the American West as much as I could. I've been on the East Coast my whole life. I've had trips out here before, but no extended amount of time at all. And think I've got a pretty good setup up here. It's plenty of room for me. We've got a sawmill on the farm back in Virginia, and I had milled some walnut a couple years ago. I actually made this desk here for this exact spot to fit perfectly where in between my mini fridge freezer combo and my sink setup over here. The mini fridge freezer setup is run exclusively off of the larger solar generator right here. And yeah, that's a back pad. I've got back issues. This thing's a beast. 2,600 watts. It runs this thing perfectly. It also runs my Starlink and a couple other things if I want to plug into it. I've got some spare power. I've got a smaller solar generator under here. That runs my, that runs like charging cell phones, charging dog collars, laptop, just kind of lighter duty stuff. I've got a little plug-in port here that can control all of it. And then my 12-volt system, we'll want to roll back here, that runs the exhaust vent and runs my on-demand water and my lights up top. And those are all like actual RV appliances, so they are dedicated 12-volt and need that setup. My 12-volt system, I have the exact same battery that the bus uses, so if the bus were to die due to a dead battery, I can just kind of take all those wires apart under there, pull that battery, swap it out, let the solar charge the one that's dead, and I'm back on the road without having to go to the parts store or anything. So kind of planned it out that way, make it the easiest possible, just trying to limit potential for being stranded, if you will. So my sink setup here, all, cheapest stuff money can buy on Amazon. It has worked for me so far. I wired it all, I plumbed it all. The cabinets I got from a buddy's wife that didn't like the cabinets anymore in the house and said, Riley, come rip them out and they're yours. And I was like, yeah, man, because I think they're gorgeous. But on-demand water, great. I've got about 15-gallon storage. I really only use this for my personal water, drinking, coffee, brushing teeth, washing face, stuff like that, just trying to conserve. I've been exclusively camping on creeks, lakes, rivers, and I fill up jugs of waters for the dogs, let them drink out of the lakes, rivers, creeks, as long as it's safe. You got to watch out for green algae, various things that I'm going to research before I get to certain places. Underneath here, you won't be able to see it, trash can. I do keep a spare propane tank in there for my little buddy heater here. I did actually have to use that last night because it got down to about 26 degrees here in Wyoming. Didn't run it all night, but heat up the bus to like 85 before I go to bed, and I could sleep throughout the night pretty comfortably. It's a very well insulated bus so far, so it holds heat for me. I may have to change some things around when I get heat-wise, when I get into the dead of winter, but for now it's working out well for me. So back here, we've got the 2-burner cooktop stove. I have cooked every single meal for the past 2 weeks on this thing, and it has been great. I do have a gas and code detector on one of the solar generators. I wired all of this, did all the propane fittings myself, so I'm going to make very well sure that I'm not going to explode in here. It's got a big alarm on it. I even tested it, opened up a propane tank to it, and it will, scream you out of the bus if there's a gas leak in here. It's also linked to my phone, so if I'm out doing something and there's a gas leak or something, I can haul back to the bus, cut it off, just trying to look out. But this thing has been amazing. I've got propane storage under here, toolbox under here, and all of my water storage is in this cabinet, along with toilet paper, paper towels. I mean, it's packed in here. These are all my utensils, plastic bags, aluminum foil, saran wrap, electrical tape, duct tape, a hacky sack. You never know when you need one of those. All types of goodies. I've got my kettle here. I heat up every morning for my coffee, French press coffee. I love it. Like I said before, I don't do anything until I've had my coffee in the morning. I like my time to kind of wake up and enjoy life a little bit without just rushing into the day. Back of the bus, this guy right here is where all the magic happens. Well, if we're being honest, the lack thereof. I actually took my king-size Tempur-Pedic bed out of my bedroom at home in Virginia, pulled it out in the yard, and took a Sawzall to it and cut it to the dimensions to fit back here. Because before this, I was sleeping on a 3-inch foam pad, which is fine for a camping trip, a week, maybe 2 weeks. Starts getting the back a little bit. Now we have moved up in the world, and I'm sleeping on a 12-inch Tempur-Pedic foam pad. So I may be out in the middle of nowhere, Wyoming, but I am sleeping great. These cabinets here and here are both clothes storage, as well as on top of them. So I've got everything that I need clothes-wise right there where my jackets are hung up, right here, and then I've got some waterproof waders for fishing, duck hunting, waterproof jackets for duck hunting, bird hunting if it's a snowstorm, rainstorm. They're all stored under the bed with some various other things. Have all my shotguns stored under the bed, my safe under there with documents, all the types of things that need to be just kind of kept underneath there that I don't need access to on a daily basis we won't be going under there to show you any of that. This guy right here, food pantry, and it is plumb full right now. I've been living on the road for 2 weeks now, and I haven't even begun to touch my reserves in here. I have lived for the past 2 weeks off of wild game that I have either caught or shot. So, been living a pretty healthy lifestyle on the road, and you know, it's the kind of lifestyle I really love to live. And places like Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, I mean, all these places I'll be traveling to, they have ample sources of wild game, fish. So it's not going to be difficult to get my protein in. I've got plenty of room in here to store things, to store dry goods, to make dishes with, not just eating raw, or not just eating cooked grouse with no seasonings or no sides or anything like that. Same goes with trout, salmon, anything I may catch on the road. Other than that, that's pretty much the full setup of what I told you guys would be the sexiest rig you've ever seen in your lives. Works for me. It was on a budget, and I've made it to Wyoming already with it. And I will be here for a handful more days before I move on up to Montana. I'm enjoying the Tetons as it is. Probably the most gorgeous place I've ever seen in my life. Ample birds. I mean, there are grouse everywhere you look. So the dogs are in absolute heaven. Trout fishing has been phenomenal. I mean, it's just, you don't even really need to know how to fish. Just great place for someone to learn how to fly fish. But if you're just out looking for meat, rooster tail on a spinning reel, toss it, because you're catching them almost every single cast. And luckily for me, I love trout. So it's going to be pretty easy living on the road. That's pretty much it for me, though. I hope y'all enjoyed the overview of the bus, the Jeep, the whole setup, if you will. I'm getting pretty hungry, so I'm going to fix myself up some supper, pour these dogs some kibble, take a little walk with them before it gets too dark, and until next time, guys.